holding today's press conference outside of Planned Parenthood. This is a facility where they perform abortions, and Planned Parenthood, what many people don't realize, is the biggest abortion chain in our country. And they commit over 320,000 abortions every year. But they're receiving, even before Obamacare funds, they're receiving over $500 million in taxpayer subsidy. That under Obamacare, under the PrEP program, they're going to be receiving more money targeted towards so-called sex education of teens, but we've exposed that to actually show Planned Parenthood pushing what is dangerous, violent sexual practices to teens, to young girls, including sadomasochism, and to show that under Obamacare, according to the latest GAO report, 1,000 healthcare plans will now be covering abortion, covering the killing of the unborn child, subsidized by, guess who, by us, by taxpayers.
And this is the human rights issue of our day. I'm particularly passionate about this issue because many in the world said that I should have been aborted. My biological mother was raped, yet she chose to be stronger than her circumstances. And many women that pass through here are being told that they are not strong enough. And I'll tell you what, women are the most resilient and resourceful human beings on the planet. Planned Parenthood is defrauding the American public. They're not the savior of poor women, they're not the savior of women, and they're definitely not the savior of the black community. And it's about time that Congress realizes this billion-dollar welfare organization needs to be defunded.
Nearly 80% of Planned Parenthood facilities are located within 5 miles of a college campus, and 44% of abortions that are committed are on college-aged women. Every single woman that walks through the door of a Planned Parenthood is a number, and her preborn child is a $.
This is not just a women's issue. While many would like to paint it as though there are only women that care about this issue, I will tell you firsthand, it's not. 7 out of 10 Americans agree that their taxpayer dollars should not be used for abortion.
I am not going to stand idly by while this federal government continues to pay for organizations like Planned Parenthood and others who are taking the lives of innocent unborn children.
We know that live action investigations showed that Planned Parenthoods across the U.S. are willing to aid and abet sex traffickers, to the point that Planned Parenthood will commit abortions on underage sex slaves who don't even speak English.
I work a lot with high school students, and I think it's really important to educate them early on Planned Parenthood's business structure of creating clienteles. So they get into the high schools and they promote this sex education that actually promotes promiscuity.
Let everyone know that I, as an American, and many other Americans throughout the country, do not support the taxpayer funding of Planned Parenthood, and do not believe in it, and believe that if Planned Parenthood needs money and they want to raise money, they should do it on their own without the government help. And if they're unable to do so, then obviously there's no need for them, and the American people don't want them.
I just feel it's really important to be out here as a man, standing with women and making sure that we help end abortion, and realizing that there are 2 victims every time they go into an abortion clinic, the child as well as the woman.
And even we were standing across the street with my children, watching folks go into the clinic and just praying and believing that something might trigger those in those mamas' hearts and heads to understand that there is such value with the life that they're carrying.
Blessed Mother Teresa, in letters to the United States, she even wrote a letter to the Supreme Court when another abortion decision was up in the 90s. And constantly, despite her work in Calcutta, India, with the poor and the lepers and the lonely, with the dying, she had very strong words to say about abortion. And she said that the greatest destroyer of peace in the world today, and again, she's a Peace Prize winner. She's recognized by the world, by the international community, as this leader for peace. But she says the greatest destroyer of peace in the world today is the cry of the innocent unborn child. For the sake of our children, for the sake of our women, we can and we must do better than abortion. And it begins with Congress, with the folks on Capitol Hill finally hearing the American people, especially the voice of women and young people in our country, to stop the government subsidy of abortion in our nation.